everyone. All right, this is the last video I'm going to make about this. Someone brought up some points again. And again, I know I'm not going to change a lot of minds on this. People are pretty set in their ways and their beliefs on these things. And that's fine. But it's an important issue. And again, just the other day, yesterday, the day before, there was another mass shooting. Now, it seems as if this most recent mass shooting, I believe it was Raleigh, if I'm mistaken, please forgive me. I'm a busy man. It sounds like the guy had a handgun and what they call a long rifle. So when I hear long rifle, and only 5 people died, and forgive me for using the phrase only 5 people died, because in America, that's a low body count for a mass shooting. It's still horrible and terrible, but we've had a lot worse as far as body count. Now, when I hear long rifle, I assume it's not a 30 round clip, 20 round clip type rifle. That's why only 5 people died. And that's, that makes my point for me that if you have limited magazine capacity, you only have the opportunity to kill, you have the opportunity to kill less people if you're a crazy person. And that's the thing. But first, let me address one of the points. A person left a lengthy comment. I skim read some of it because, again, I'm really busy. I'm not trying to be an asshole and not, fully read what they said. But one of the points they made was, I think, because I skim read it again, if you have a 30 round clip, you don't have to be as accurate with your shots. If you have a 10 round clip, every shot has to be 100% accurate. Okay, that's a good point. But again, for home defense, I just don't see a lot of scenarios where you need a 30 round clip. Now, in the movies, you'll see gangs of people attack a house and a guy with a machine gun take them on, or Rambo or something like that. In other words, what I'm trying to say is that seems like more like a movie type scenario, not a reality type scenario. Unless, like I said in the other video, unless you're a drug kingpin or something, unless you're affiliated with, if multiple armed assailants are trying to end your life. But my main point is I just don't see the scenario or see that many. We're not in the post-apocalypse yet. So that's kind of out. It from one side. They don't think about the other side. One, because it didn't happen to them yet. Two, it just, that's the way they see it. They don't see it from the side. They see it as, I have a right to have this weapon, and I have a right to have as many bullets as I want. Okay. But again, what about the rights of everyday citizens that just want to leave their home and not have to worry about being sprayed by a military-style weapon with a large capacity magazine? And it comes down to the math. Again, if a guy has a 10 round clip as opposed to a 30 round clip, he can kill less people. He has to reload. When someone reloads, that gives people a chance to run, to hide, to attack back and stop the gunman, whether they have a gun or not. I'm talking about the ordinary citizen that's facing a threat. So that's the difference. And it's an important difference. And I just have to put this scenario out there for people. And again, I know I'm not going to change anyone's mind here, but put yourself in other people's shoes for a second. If you have children and you send those children to school every day, or maybe your kids are grown up now, think about when they were little. Think about when they were younger and they were going to high school or grammar school or college. If a mass shooter came to your child's school, put yourself in this position. What would you rather that mass shooter have at your child's school? Would you rather that mass shooter have a 30 round clip AR-15 or a 3 or 4 round rifle, or a 10 round clip, what would you rather that mass shooter have at your child's school if, God forbid that ever happened? I know what I would want if I had a kid and I was sending him to school. I wouldn't want the assailant to have a 30 round magazine and a, semi-automatic rifle or automatic rifle. When you have an automatic, that's the reason why automatics are illegal in this country, I believe. Because if you have an automatic weapon and you go to a crowded place as quickly, less people die. If you have a 10 round clip as opposed to a 30 round clip and you're a crazy psycho mass shooter, you have a 10 round, less people die. And that's, again, the only reason why I think these things should be banned. The AR-15 should be banned for civilian use except at the gun range, in my opinion. And these 30 round clips for civilian use, I think, should be banned. And it's not the ordinary citizen who has no intention of hurting people that I'm worried about. It's the crazy person that we're all worried about. And they exist, unfortunately, especially in America. That's where it happens the most. I mean, how many have we had already this year? There was just one the other day, like I said. And the person made the point as well. It's not the gun that is the problem. It's the person that owns the gun who is the problem if they are crazy. I agree with that statement. And that's the whole premise of everything I've said in these last 3 videos. What type of gun would you rather a crazy person have access to? A fully automatic, 30-round magazine, or a semi-automatic 30-round magazine? You'd rather that crazy person have that if one of your loved ones was out somewhere? Or would you rather have them have it like a 10-round? More chance that your loved one survives that incident and that assailant gets dealt with before he's able to kill 40 people. So I agree with that premise that it's not the gun that is the problem. It's the person behind the gun that's the problem. That's my whole point. If we didn't have these psychos, once a month, twice a month, 3 times a month, shooting up public places, we wouldn't have a problem, would we? Unfortunately, the reality of our world, and especially this country, is we do have these psychos. And these losers that do this, these fucking pathetic cowards that do this, they see this mass shooting as their big moment in life. My name will go down in history. That's the way they see this. And they want as big of a body count as possible. They want to set the record. You know what I mean? And they don't necessarily want to survive the incident because obviously they're not very satisfied with life and they're not very fucking straight in the head. They're fucking crazy. They're pathetic. They're cowards. They see this as their stage, their big moment, because they've done nothing in life. So I'd like to limit their big moment down to as few bodies as possible, personally. So again, unfortunately, the reality of our world, especially America, is we got a lot of crazy dudes that want to go out and kill a lot of people. Therefore, to deal with that problem, not to punish people that want to own guns, not to take their rights away, the point of it is to make these mass shootings as low of a body count as possible because they are going to happen. That's undeniable. They're going to happen. They think they're Rambo or something. And what I mean by that is they think they're going to have that moment where 10 assailants are trying to come in their home with arms or unarmed. And, they're going to take on 10, 20 people with their AR-15 and take them all out because they're so skilled, like Rambo or something. But the reality is that rarely ever happens. One, they're probably going to get you if that scenario does happen. That very unlikely scenario, by the way, the more likely scenario, unfortunately, in America, especially, the more likely scenario that's going to happen with that semi-automatic weapon with a 30-round clip is some psycho is going to have access to it and go shoot up a public place. We have to deal with that problem. Otherwise, you could be next. You could be out in public one day. Your child could be out in public, could be in school, and some psycho could come around. Let's try and the only reason I'm talking about this again, let's try and limit the amount of people they can take out at once. The idea isn't to take guns away from people or to take the ability to defend themselves at home away from people. There are still other options. So I think more people need to look at it from both sides. And what I mean by both sides is, don't just look at it as, I want a 30-round clip to defend my home. Look at it from the other side as well. If your child or loved one was out in public, what would you want that mass shooter to have access to? A military grade weapon with a 30-round clip? Or a non-military grade weapon with a 10-round clip? I would rather them have a non-military grade weapon with a 10-round clip. I think more people need to see it from that perspective. But whatever, everyone has their beliefs on this issue, and it's a very divisive and controversial issue, especially in this country. More people would put their self, because until it happens to you, and it hasn't happened to me, I haven't lost a child in one of these incidents, and I can only imagine the fucking tragedy and the despair people feel when this shit happens. They're just trying to send their kid to school or go to a shopping mall or a movie theater or whatever. And at the end of the day, they find out some crazy man with an assault rifle killed their child in a school. We shouldn't have to worry about that. Unfortunately, we do. So let's at least try and limit the impact of these psychos. So one more time, I really wish people would say, what if it happened to me? What if that was my child in Uvalde High School? What if that was my wife or husband or brother or sister in that movie theater or that shopping mall? Do I really need this assault rifle with a 30-round clip? Or is their life more important? Because these psychos are going to come out of the woodwork every now and then, especially in America. Anyway, I'm not trying to piss people off. I'm not trying to be argumentative or be an asshole. It's just a serious issue that I take seriously, and I think is a real problem in this country. And it's almost become, oh yeah, another one, when we see these headlines. And a lot of gun deaths don't even get reported anymore because they're not dramatic enough, not high enough of a body count or whatever. It's almost become normalized. And that's a fucking shame. And one more time, we're supposed to be the most civilized, richest, successful empire on the planet, right? Yet any day of the week, any of us could walk out of our front door and get killed by some crazy gunman. So how really great are we? I don't know the answer to that question. Whatever. Have a good day.